there. Today's topic is going to be slip-slops or flip-flops, whatever part of the world that you live in. It depends what you use, or to describe these particular shoes, I'm talking about these guys, which we all love in summer. And believe it or not, it's actually summer in South Africa at the moment, but it is raining so much, so we're all sitting here on the couch with a fire going in the background. Right, are flip-flops and slip-slops good for you or not? Well, it depends. So let's get into it. So the reasons why they're not particularly great. One reason is every year you haul out the same flip-flop. I'm calling them slip-slops for now. Let's call them slip-slops. You pull out your old faithful slip-slops, and people have been wearing these for sometimes decades. It's their go-to pair of shoes, right? And they all think it's perfectly fine because they're terribly comfortable, and why not? Let me explain why it's not such a good idea. Oh, by the way, I'm Renata, and we've got Rufus keeping me company on this side and Manja on this side. So as you can see, life's rough living in this household. Okay, so one of the things that a bad fitting slip-slop can cause is an ill fitting. So if you are, say you're walking in these shoes and they don't fit properly, so as you're walking, the shoe wants to kind of fall off the whole time, so you're walking around your toes like this, trying to keep the shoe on, right? That already affects your gait, and gait is the way you walk. So it's going to cause issues in your ankles, in your knees, in your hips, and your back in the long term. So the way I always tell people, when they put the shoe on, put the shoe on when you're looking to buy one, and do this with your foot, okay? If it doesn't go flying in the air, then it's got potential, okay? That's just the one thing. So, and also with this constant, with your toes doing this the whole time, your poor muscles in your feet also get like really overworked and tired. And again, sometimes even causing that thing you've heard of, which is plantar fasciitis, that sits underneath here at the heel, you pain, but it's all about the fascia under the foot, right? So there's another thing. So this is not so simple. You can also get obviously tendonitis in the feet or in the calf because of this overuse of these muscles in a weird way. Your bones can also eventually become all squished together and pounded. You know, constant pounding also causes them to become painful. So obviously that's not what you do not want that. Here's another thing that I always, a pet thing. Like when I go to a city, I can't wear open shoes because, I mean, I've seen people spit on the pavements, pee on the pavements, dogs poo on the pavements, and then everybody's walking around there with their little slops. And I'm like, ew, what is going to be on your feet at the end of the day? So no slops for me. So anyway, but that's also another thing, is you can be walking around and collecting all these beautiful little microorganisms, which aren't always your friend. With the slops, you also find that your toes can become, like I explained, squished, and then over time that can also cause issues because they're not designed to be like all squishy like that and to one side. Okay. Other things are there's only one part of our body that sadly loses fat as we get older, and that's our fat pad in our heel. So here, underneath the heel, we have a fat pad, right? And that's to buffer, obviously, the whole body landing up on the heel. So as we get older, this little pad gets thinner. So obviously, if you're overweight or you're wearing really bad shoes that aren't giving you enough cushioning, you're going to have problems here with, again, either plantar fasciitis or just this whole area here being terribly sore with bony spurs possibly growing from ill-fitting shoes, especially these little guys which are open. Yeah, that's about that on that. Okay, and also with the arch of your foot, ideally you want to have the muscles in the arch of your foot strong enough to help hold the arch up. So they also need a certain amount of a balance between being strong enough to support the arch and also not tired to, you know, with the shoes just putting too much strain on the arch. Okay, so my go-to thing is for a good pair of slip-slops is, like I explained, put it on, and if you do that and the flips doesn't go flying, then that's the first thing. If you take some of your old slip-slops and you put your fingers like that over the toe area and over the heel area, most of you will find that this will be your heel and this will be your toe, because what happens is that over time the heel becomes squished, because obviously the heel bears a lot more weight than the front. So over time, a bad pair of shoes will go squash, and then you kind of then going to be walking like on your heels, literally. So now you try and walk a little bit with only on your heels to exaggerate the movement, and you're going to feel how sore your back is going to get. So when you buy a pair of shoes, the toe has to be lower than the heel. Okay, so in other words, it's like this pair of shoes are perfect because the heel is higher than the toes, and the rubber is wonderfully soft but yet also very supportive. Okay, so, and they have like a little thing that your feet don't, because I'm sure you've seen many people, you're walking behind them, if you look at them, their heels often are sort of all the way off the shoe on the inside already, and then they kind of walking like double Daffy Duck kind of thing, which is going to affect your heels, your knees, your hips. I always find that in the beginning of in January, when people come back from holiday, they all come to me with lower back pain, and it's because they've been wearing their slip-slops and they've been walking in them on the beach, or they've been walking more on the beach and everything, so their feet aren't used to all these different angles that they're walking at, and they think the lower back is, well, they're not sure where it came from, but it's definitely from the ill-fitting slip-slop. So it's a very good idea to invest in some good pairs, if not one good pair at least, to ensure pain-free body. Okay. If you have any other questions about it, I'm sure I'll do another follow-up on this, but please do ask questions. I really enjoy those. So now, say for example, all the ladies, they always want to wear their beautiful, you know, lovely flatties, which is all very great. You can wear them, like, I mean, these are my Vivienne Westwoods, I mean, really, and these are campers. Now, they are exquisite, but I can't walk very far in these. So if you're going to wear something like this, just wear it to a lunch where you're just sitting, all right, or a dinner. Not for walking around, for shopping, all right? This is not going to be very good. Then you're going to make an appointment with me after wearing these for a day. So if you do have a pair of shoes that you unfortunately just love, what you can also find in shops are like these heel pads. So stuff that you stick onto your shoe. It's like a little spongy pad that you can stick onto the heel area. There's another type. You can get these at all these different shops, Clicks, Discam, wherever, you know. So you stick it into the heel area. Then at least then you've got more support for your heel, and your gait will be a little bit improved. And then you can most possibly hang on to your, you know, your bling bling shoes. Okay, so a nice little support stuck here will help you walk better and will save your feet and your knees and your hips and your back and your personality, because you will lose your personality when you're in a lot of pain. So that covers that. I'd like to say thank you for this active participation of my little creatures, and hopefully you enjoyed this, and subscribe and share, please, because we'd like to get this this channel up and running and going global soon. Thank you. Bye.